Glassmaking on the River Wear by Anne Lordman, professional children's and mental health writer, gives us a brief history of glass and its legacy in Sunderland. This is the story of how a wealthy nobleman, a lord in the court of a Northumbrian king, became a man of religion, innovation, and patron of the arts, bringing glassmaking to Wearside. I'm talking, of course, about Bishop Badusing, who lived in the northeast of England in the 7th century, and first started his career at the court of King Oswy of Northumbria. Bishop was such a brave and dedicated member of the court that, on his decision to devote his life to religious study, he was gifted 70 hides of land by ecology, who had succeeded Oswy, on which the monastery of St. Peter, Wearmouth, was built, and its associated church. The church was consecrated in 675 AD, and Bishop, who now adopted the name Benedict, became its first abbot, leaving his old life, and indeed his marriage, behind. The church and the monastery at Wearmouth were unusual for the time, built as they were of stone. Most buildings in the northeast at that time were of wooden construction, but this was not enough for the well-travelled Bishop. Being a physically fit as well as a devout man, Bishop made the pilgrimage to Rome, on foot, 5 times in his life. He also visited Gaul, now modern-day France. It is said that he marvelled at the stained glass windows in the European churches that he saw in his travels and loved fine art. He must also have been quite persuasive, as on each journey he not only brought back books, icons and relics, but also stonemasons and glassmakers from the balmy Mediterranean climate to the windswept coast of northeast England. It was during one such trip in 675 AD that Bishop crossed paths with a gifted French glassmaker and persuaded him to come to Britain and pass on the rare knowledge of glassmaking. He brought back a shipment of key raw materials, quality beach sand, essential salts, and mineral soda ash. Now, glassmaking could start in earnest. It was not only for making beautiful items for the church. This was the start of a glassmaking legacy on the Wear that would continue for more than 1,300 years. The glassmaker showed the monks how to use beach pebbles to raise the temperature high enough to fuel the newly built furnaces. A secret ingredient, Gaulish dust, was used to diffuse the brightly coloured glass. Soon, not only windows, but tableware, vases, flasks and tiles were being produced in Wearmouth, whilst training local monks in these skills. Previously, glass goods would have been transported to England carefully by ship, a very delicate process. Now, glass made on the banks of the River Wear, and in colour too. It must have been an awe-inspiring for the small population who lived near the monastery to see the innovation of stone and glass take shape. By the time of Bishop's death in 689 AD, glassmaking was firmly established on the Wearside, and the practice had spread to St. Peter's sister monastery at Jarrow. This small town, which eventually became the city of Sunderland, had started a revolution in glass. Over the following centuries, Sunderland became famed for its wares, from bottles to high-class dinner services, with many factories setting up their home here. During the Industrial Revolution, such as the world-renowned glassmakers Hartley Woods, and later the famous Pyrex ware was manufactured here by James Jobling from the early 20th century. It seemed natural, therefore, for Sunderland to house the National Glass Centre, the NGC, which was opened by King Charles in 1998 and is a popular free-to-access tourist attraction. Currently a home for independent glass artists, the NGC is both a working glassmaking centre and the provider of wider exhibition space. Visitors have the opportunity to see traditional glass blowing or to take part in workshops and create their own glass objects at a reasonable cost. These courses are always in high demand. Sadly, the building, which is now owned by the University of Sunderland, is under threat of fairly imminent closure. If this venue disappears, the mighty fire of the furnaces, first ignited by Biscop 1300 years ago, will be extinguished on Wearside, possibly forever.
Possibly forever.
Possibly forever. Forever.